Hello again, welcome back to LilyLuLou. My name is Karen, I'm the Junk Journal Geek. Thank you for joining me today, whether you are a first-time visitor or you're coming back for more. So I'm carrying on, I'm still working on my autumn journal, and I'm going to make a start on the cover. I have already started, and then I thought, I'll put the camera on and show you where I'm up to and what I'm going to do. But I'll probably have to do the beginning of this today and then come and finish it off with you tomorrow. So this is an Amazon envelope. You know, it's one of those cardboard sort of envelopes. They're a bit bigger than A4 size. A paperback book was delivered in this one, so that's, you know, just to give you an idea of what I'm using. So I've cut it down to just a bit bigger than my pages, so it's about 8.5 by 14 inches, and then what I've done in the middle is scored a 1.5 inch spine, which I think is going to be enough. I've got 3 signatures, so that should be enough. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover the outside in this fabric, because I think that's quite autumnal, and then I am going to have this sort of teal embossed card on the inside covers, and then I'm going to have this piece as my spine piece that the signatures are attached to. And I think when this is my first signature, so I'm picking up this sort of teal colour. This is darker, so I'm picking that up from there, and there's blues through the journal, you know, here and there. It's not a big colour. And then on the back signature, I thought it picks out the colour of this lantern. And I did say the other day when I was filming, I think I've got some stamps like that are lanterns. And while I was rummaging, looking for which, you know, what I was going to use, what card I was going to use in here, I found this. This is from Your Creative Studio. Must be 3, maybe 4 years ago. And it's all still in the box. I have used some bits, but I haven't really played with this properly. And there's the stamp that I was thinking of. So I've got a stamp here that's like an oil lamp. So I think I'm going to have to go through and do some stamping in this journal. But we won't get distracted with that today. I've pulled this out now, so I might well use some of these bits and pieces in this. And it's a shame I didn't think of this before, because I've got washi tape that would coordinate with it, and I could have used that on that tag that I was doing where washi tape was one of my prompts. But anywho, I've got that out now, so hopefully I will remember to use it. This is the trouble with not having a dedicated craft space. I have to shove all these things out of the way, and then I forget I've got them. So I'm going to cut this fabric down so it's just a little bit bigger than my piece of card. This fabric I got from a charity shop. I think it was probably a curtain or something like that. Looks like it was a curtain. So where's my scissors? I'm not sure if this will tear. And I am going to do it. I'm going to be quite generous because I tend to make mistakes. So it gives me some leeway, wiggle room. Oh, yes. I have to cut that last bit because it's hemmed. Right, so I've saved this piece from my journal. You've seen this fabric before. I think I used it on the cover of think it was the Faux journal that I made. Right, we need to get, well, we don't really need to get rid of that hem, do we? Because we're probably going to have to cut. Yes, we are going to have to cut some off. So if we cut it about there, not sure if it will rip in the other direction. Oh yes, it will. Sorry if that's really loud. I'm lifting it up to rip it, and I'm realising that I'm getting quite close to my phone, so it's probably really loud. So apologies if that is the case. Now, so this is the right side of my fabric. I'm just deciding whether I want to stitch around this or whether I'm just going to glue it. And the reason I'm hesitating is because if I stitch around it, you will see it on the outside. I'm not sure if that's what I want or not, but I think I will. So, or shall I? I'm umming and ahhing now. I was just going to say, well, let's make sure I've got this up the right way, but there's nothing in it yet, so it doesn't really matter until I'm actually putting the pages in. There isn't really a right and wrong way, is there? So shall we just make a start sticking that? And I can always come back and stitch if I decide I want to later. So I've got some fabric glue here. What I really need is I have one, a brush so that I can spread the glue. It's a bit manky, but it will have to do. Now there's a few tears in this packaging, but I'm assuming, I'm being very daring, I'm assuming that once I have glued everything down, you know, the fabric and then the lining card, and that is going to be protection enough that that little tear won't be an issue. Oh. And I want to spread this out to try and avoid, you know, lumps of glue coming through the fabric. I'm not worrying about the edges at the moment because obviously when I fold the fabric over and do the edges on the inside, that's going to hold everything in place. And then if I do decide to stitch as well, then that will be even more secure. So I'm hoping that that is sort of straight-ish. So I'm just plonking that down onto the fabric, giving it a bit of a burnish so that we, you know, we want to give the glue some time to grab, give it a chance to grab and adhere to the fabric. I've been putting off sewing the signatures together because I keep thinking I want to do more stitching but I've decided I need to put the signatures together now and see where I'm at. I haven't got any ruffles on my pages yet, which I wanted to do, and that's normally what I sew. But that's because I can't find the things that I want to use as ruffles, the fabrics and things. I know I've got a pile somewhere that will go for this. Now, I don't know if you can see on this side, I've got glue that has seeped through. I'm not going to worry about that too much at the moment. I'm hoping that that will disappear as the glue dries. But if it doesn't, we will find a way to disguise that. We'll do a bit of decorative something or other. So, I do routinely make these too big when I'm folding over my edges, because I'm always worried that I'm going to do it too short. I think we can do with trimming a little bit more off there. So I'm just going to grab my pinking shears. Oopsie. Right, let's just, I think that side's okay, and I think the bottom's okay. So let's just trim a little bit off of this top and the other side. I'm saying it's the top, it might not be when we come to actually do the thing. And obviously I can't cut in a straight line, so, and I haven't got any space here, and the dining table is full of stuff. I keep pulling things out. Do that about there. Yeah, I do normally do this on the dining table, so I've got a bit more room, but my guillotine and my sewing machine and there's all sorts of things, my scoreboard, all on the dining room table. So let's trim off some of these strings out of the way. I think that will be okay. And then I want to miter these corners a bit. So actually I've mitered that one, but I might be better off, because this is not really strong card. I wonder if I would be better off actually folding these corners. I might do that on the other sides actually, just to protect the corners a little bit more. So let's glue the corners down first. Hope I'm in frame. I'm getting glue everywhere. And strings. Let's do the other big one. And then that's just a little extra bit of protection on the corners then, as I say, because this is not like bookboard that I usually use when I'm making a journal. I shouldn't have cut that bit off before I thought about it, but I did. So let's just work with it and see how we get on. So let's pop some glue along this edge. This is fabric glue. It's grabbing quite nicely straight away, so that's good. This fabric glue came from, it was either the range or Hobbycraft, I think. It's not you know, it's not Fabri Tac or anything like that. It's a reasonably priced alternative. So if you're in the UK, that's where you can look for it. So I can't remember exactly which one it came from. I'm sure it was one of those two, though. I don't think it was the Works. Might need to hold these edges in place for a minute. Need a bit of a wash after this. Going to be very sticky. So that's the long edges done. And because this is just cardboard, it's not bookboard, it's going to be, it's not a hard cover, but it's a bit harder than a soft cover, if you know what I mean. Right, I'm going to pop a little bit of glue inside that fold to try and hold that down a bit. And then pop some along this edge. I think I'm running low on that, so I'll have to get replacements soon. I'm going to fold this over. Now this corner is my problematic corner because I've already chopped it. So I want to try and make sure that is as neat as I can make it. That's a bit of a mistake there, doing that mitre before I actually thought through what I was doing. Such is life. Now I have a bit of a giant belly bulge there. I need to make sure I've pulled this taut. But I don't want to be obviously bending the cardboard. So let's hold that in place there and try and straighten this edge up. I think I've actually squished the cardboard there, that's why I'm having an issue at this end. It's not a major issue, it just means the corners are not going to be as neat as they could be. But when you're using a softer cover, that, you know, you do have that issue sometimes, because it's easy, as I say, to bend the actual cardboard when you're folding your fabric over. You want it taut, but you want to try not to actually bend the edge of your cardboard. See, like this bit's very easy to fold in when you're, you know, trying to fold this over. But once this is all, once I've sewn the signatures in, and then I cover the inside with this, a lot of that's going to be hidden, not the actual corners, but a lot of the folded in and the edges and things is going to be disguised a bit. So, and you know, it is a junk journal, it's all made by hand, it's not going to be perfect, that's not the idea of what we're trying to do. It's part of the charm. Right, let's see about this corner now. So I'm going to put a little bit of fabric glue inside these folds again, just to hold them in place. And a bit more down here. And see what we can do with this one. So that's my middle part done. That's gone over quite nicely. So now I'll try and match in the top and bottom. And we've got a very ugly corner here. I don't quite know what's happened there, but I can't feel what's happened under here. There's something iffy going on. Oh, they don't look too bad from the right side. So it's not going to be perfect because it's not made by machine, and it's not, you know, it is what it is. But that actually looks okay. So I'm going to leave that to dry for a bit before I start bending and moving things. I'm probably going to go away now, and I'll stitch my signatures together off camera, and then I'll come back and show you putting the rest of this together. So I will see you again shortly. Okay, I'm back again. So I've attached my signatures to what is going to be the spine in my cover. And I'm just going to show you now how I attach this all together. So I'm going to pop some, if I can find it, I'm going to put some glue stick in the actual spine. This will help give me a bit of wiggle room. And then I am going to put some wet glue on my actual, where my signatures are sewn in. I do go a bit overboard with this, I know, but I like to make sure that once they're in, they're in. So I probably use too much glue, but better safe than sorry. And then at the top here, oh, for goodness sake, I haven't got enough hands. I'm going to put a little bit of fabric glue on the fabric just to make sure that all sticks properly at the top there. So just at the top and the bottom in the centre there, I'm popping some fabric glue. And then what I'm going to try and do is centre this, my piece. Oh, hang on, have I got it the way I want it? I think I want it this way. I think that was the way I wanted it. So I try to centre this. I'm not sure if you can see what I'm doing, so that the middle of my spine piece is on the middle of the cover spine that I've made, and that the top and bottom are lined up, you know, so they're not sort of peeking out. And it looks like I might have cut this piece of card a teeny weeny bit too long, so might have to do some clever trimming once everything's dry. I think that at the top there it might be okay, but it might just peek over the edge slightly. I won't be sure until it's all in and glued and dry. So I'm just trying to make sure I've got everything sort of lined up and looking straightish in the middle here. And then I'm just giving that a really good burnish. And then I've just tidied up before I turn the camera back on and put my paper clips away, and I actually want my paper clips. So what I'm going to do is just pop a paper clip at the top and the bottom, and I'm sliding it in between where the signatures are. Hope you can see that, just to hold this in place while, you know, to give the glue a chance to adhere. And then again, I'm just going in and burnishing everything really well, and I'm now going in between each signature and just with my finger just burnishing that down. I've got a little tear here where I don't know even if you can see that on camera, but I pulled the strings too hard in the middle signature when I was stitching, and I've torn the backing there a little bit, so I've repaired it on the other side with some tape, and I'm hoping that that's going to be okay. So that should be all in there nicely now. So then what I'm going to do, I have got a piece of double-sided tape here. So again, I'm going to pop a little bit of fabric glue at the top and the bottom. I'm going to put a little bit of glue stick on the card, and then I'm going to, if I can find my pokey tool, excuse me if I'm leaning under the camera, and I hope I don't jog you. My pokey tool is tucked around behind you there. Just take off the backing from the double-sided tape, and I'm going to put my wet glue over the top of that, because again that will give me a little bit of leeway while I'm sticking that down, in case, you know, I feel like I need to move anything, because with double-sided tape, once it's down, it's down. I mean, this is all in position now anyway, so I'm burnishing the inside part of this spine first, and then sort of working my way out. And I don't want to bend this too much until it's dry, but I do want to give this some memory, and just, you know, where my scored line was, where the book, you know, is where the front and back covers are. I seem to have lost my words this afternoon. Excuse me, still not 100%. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that that, you know, is not going to pop up anytime soon. So that's the back done, and then I'm going to do the same for the front piece. So we want a little bit of fabric glue again at the top and the bottom. Come on, glue. Oops, that's just squirted all over me. Sorry, I keep coming down too low, don't I? So just a little bit of fabric glue there, and again I'm going to use my glue stick and my wet glue so that I can squidge this around if necessary. I'll take the backing off first. So it's actually the day after I did the first part of this video, because I left this cover overnight to try and make sure that this fabric was, you know, completely adhered before I started playing around with it. So again, I'm just working this gently, getting this glue right down into my score line so that my book will open and close, hopefully. I'm just trying to make sure everything's, you know, nice and secure. And obviously, because this is not a completely hard cover, as I would normally use, there is going to be a little bit of movement in the cover. It's you know, like halfway between a hardback book and a softback book, a paperback book, because it's actual card rather than cardboard, or cardboard rather than bookboard, I should say. So that piece is in there now, so we'll just leave that for a second. And then on the back here, just thinking with, yeah, I think I will, I'm going to pop some tape, some double-sided tape on the inside edge, which I do normally do with my hardback covers, and I wasn't going to with this, but I think I've changed my mind. So I'm just putting one strip of double-sided tape along one edge. Where's my skizzers? I have to wash these afterwards because I'm using them for sticky, which is not ideal. And let's do the same for the other piece while we're here. I don't think it matters which side is which. Okay, where's... Just burnishing this to make sure it's nicely adhered. Oh, and I've just stood my glue up again, my fabric glue. I need, again, fabric glue on the fabric. This is getting low now. Come on, glue. Just wondering how far out. Yeah, okay, go almost to the edge. Definitely getting to the last of that. I can feel there's more in there, but I just stood it upright by mistake. So what I will do, put some glue stick in there, and then I'm going to put my wet glue on here, and this piece of tape is going to stick here, and then the glue is hopefully going to hold everywhere else. Oops, it's very wet. But as we have not got a lot of fabric glue on there, just try and drag that down a bit. I've got a big blob at the top. Yeah, hopefully this will help stick to the fabric as well. So I want to make sure that we put the edge that has the tape on the card. And again, I want to try and centre this and get it straight-ish before I pop the tape down, because the tape, you know, is what grabs immediately. And this is a bit messy because I have used the wet glue, but anything that's, you know, showing when we finished that we don't like, we can do some decorating and hide that. So a lot of that is just balling up and rubbing off. So again, I will clip these corners. And I haven't decided yet, but I will probably put pockets and things in the front and back cover anyway, so this will be tarted up a bit when we get to it. So I'm just popping these paper clips on to hold everything in place while we give the glue a chance to set. And we've got a bit of oozing there, so let's just and we will pop that in there to make sure nothing gets ruined while we leave that to dry. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side if we can get any more fabric glue out. may have to go and buy a new fabric glue and come back and add a little bit more on these later. I didn't realise that this was going to be so problematic. Right, we'll leave that. We'll work with the wet glue and see what happens when we've given it a chance to dry. Keep screwing the lid on my glue stick. It doesn't need to be screwed, it just needs to be popped on. So again, we'll have a bit more glue, wet glue on here. Lift the lid off. Trying to make sure I get it to the edges because I'm hoping this will do the job of the fabric glue, but if not, as I say, I'll have to come back in and give it a bit more attention. And again, I'm making sure that I'm putting the side with the tape on where the card is. And I'm trying to get this straight-ish. So again, I'm going to just paper clip the corners, give all of that a chance to adhere. Right, so let's see what we've done. There's nothing oozing on this side, so I think we're safe there. So obviously we need to give that all a chance to dry, but we have the basis of our book now. So that's the front cover, that's the inside, we've got our signatures sewn in. Obviously now we need to give it some attention on the inside. This is just a gold envelope left over from my card making days, so this will be glued down either in the middle and have a tuck spot, top and bottom, or I may just glue it down in the middle and have a tuck spot. I haven't decided yet. So we've got all our pages in, none of the ephemera is in here because I took it all out to do the sewing of the signatures. But this is how it's looking so far. So this is the other side of that envelope. So this is going to be covered. It's going to be opened on this side as a tuck spot. But I haven't got round to doing that yet. This is a different envelope. This is going to be a top pocket in here. Obviously that will need covering both sides. And the same on the other side. It's going to be a top pocket, top loading pocket, and then in the third signature again we've got a gold envelope that's going to be cut there, covered there, so that we've got another pocket. And this was the, I don't know if I did this on camera or not, I can't remember, but that's just a decorative page that, so that when the book opens you've got like a window to look through. And then there's our back cover drying. So I hope you found that useful to watch. As I say, it's all got to be left to dry now because it is very wet with all that gluage going on. So I will be back again in a few days, and we'll work towards getting this finished. So thank you for joining me today. As I say, I hope you found that interesting. Stay safe, look after yourselves, and enjoy your own crafty time. Bye-bye.